Ay, ay, ay. I've come to a point, this is like the third or fourth day in a row, and I sort of know and I sort of welcome in the change all the time. Sometimes I say to myself, if I keep doing all these videos and working so hard, I'll go insane. So I need the break. So I ask for the break and I get the break. And when I get the break, I'm not happy because it's so hard to distinct. I mean, I can rip apart all the information, but the minute I start building an equation, it just expands to another and another and another. So I bought an extra book, and in the book, I'm going to be taking all the numbers and writing every word for every number down. So when I need it, I can work with it. At the same time, I'm going to write with a board, the Monopoly board and the roulette board. Okay, most of the other games are pretty easy. You get a deck of cards, but it's not just a deck of cards. There's so much more than in the deck. Because the bottom part of the beta 6, right? Beta 6, I'm going to try and find it for you. Starting to find, you see, the beta part of 6 is right here. There's the 6. That's the beta part of her. Down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't count these because these are man's for heaven. 1 and 1 is 2. 1 and 1 is 2 and 1. Man is avatar 5. Why is he avatar 5? See, there's nothing here. See, there's nothing here because the average value is right in the center. He may be 4, he may be 6, but in totality, he ends up to be 5, the man in the middle. So I keep getting confused. Are we actually man? How can we live inside the jelly of the center? Then I say to myself, okay, we are avatar 5, meaning our heart is 5 and every other part of our body gets other numbers. That would be 5. Now, to the spirit world that we are, right? You see, the reason I say 5 is because if you look at the 5 card, what the 5 card has is a dot here, here, one in the center, one here, and one here. Mercury, Earth, Mercury, Earth. Now, why don't we use Pluto? Yeah, because Pluto is not all the way down here. Pluto would be here, or Pluto would be here, of the connecting worlds. I'm not sure how they do it. The only way to do this is to put one on top of the other one, just like Rubik's Cube. Now, you need free space. Obviously, every place you have a number where you have a dot, the space is taken by the elements of the movement of the creation of the image in its place. So really, you should have life in between here or life in between here. Okay, this is the 9 card. The 10 card, okay, look at the hexagon. You see it? It's also the shape of the chalice. You know the chalice in the Da Vinci Code? That's the shape from here to here. They also have this shape 5 or 6 times on the roulette wheel. I think one of them are in the area line of horizontal 147. The other ones are in 258 and 369. And there are 2 or 3 dead center of the roulette wheel, totaling, okay, 35, 37, and 39. The average of 35, 37, and 39 is 37. Okay, now there's 2 sides, right? 37 and 37 is 74. And that's the number of Christ because he's the yellow energy that connects the 2 sides. It's, you know what, it just seems like it came out of my mouth so simple. Is that true? Well, it works in numbers. It works perfect in numbers. And if you're looking at mathematics to being 1 and 1 is 2, well, you got yourself the deal. So then when we go, we put 1 dot here. Man would live right here between 3 and 3. The creation of the Christ, 3 and 3. The element goes all the way down this way. Man goes in over here. He draws a line all the way this way. Now there was a pole that went down to here, a pole that went up to here, a pole that went up to here, and a pole that went down to here. Now all these poles mean they're coming over to the side 4 and 6. Now would be Mars and Saturn would all be pulling. Now there's another pull down here. This is what they call the pull of the Christ energy, right down the center, and then it goes this way. Okay. Now, what I believe that is these are running on poles, running on a pole, but the one in the middle, okay, it's like holographed inside the center in a way. But I don't like to use that word because with mathematics and holograph, it's imaginary. It's not actually there. But wait a second. Once you compress the elements of air, space together, you will get something at the end. Just takes a lot of space, a lot of stuff to put in that closed space of air. So you would have 3 and 3. 1, U, and 1. 1, 1, 1. Okay? In the center over here, okay, it would be 2, 2, 2. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, equaling 3, 3, 3. It's going to be 3 down here. So the 11th one goes here. 11th one, total of 10. You see, because I told you, the angel and man, 4 and 6 is 10. This and this is 10. This and this is 10. This is 5. This is 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But now, if you really want to look, if I take this heart and I move it over here, okay, it's going to touch the 2. And the reason for that is because, have you ever heard of a walking floor? The floor goes backwards, the floor goes frontwards. The floor goes backwards and the floor goes frontwards. And then one of my equations for that is because instead of it actually going forward and backwards, it's like this, okay? And what they're doing, these hands here, this is on 1, this is on 3. The X is what's making the scissor movement, the transferring back and forth. Oh, there's a lot of stuff to create whatever it is they're trying to show me. I do not know. But that's how they transfer, because the 2 area, no one lives in 2. No one lives in 5, and no one should be living in 8. Okay, so because that's where it goes back in the movement. That's why I say man can't live actually on Jupiter, because that's where all the movement is. So they got the 63 moons. So I keep saying that I can't see them living on Earth because it's 9 and 5. And 1 and 5 are connected together, 1, 5, and 9. I'm always coming up with the same answer in the box. You see, what I do is I put a cap over it. I take out the 2 and I put the 2 here, okay? Because there's many levels. So when you reach this level, the 2 is the first number that shows up, okay? It's the 2, 4, 8, 6. And the outside of that is 4 and 8. 6 and 12 is 18. 4 and 6 is 20. The 1 spirit of man, 6. The 1 spirit of Beta. The 4 angle to the 8 heaven. So all these numbers, they go in a straight row. It doesn't matter. Where did I get the 8 from? This 8 over here. 1 and 7 on your telephone. 1, 4, 7 equals 8. And your telephone, 3, 6, 9. 3 and 9 equals 12. Why did I use these numbers? Because in roulette, the 12 is red. Okay, in roulette, the 8 is black. In roulette, 16 is red. And in roulette, the 4 is black. So I'll put these 2 together, and then I'll put these 2 together. This one will stand for angel heaven, or the angle of heaven, which, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Creation world. On its side, alpha, beta, creation. Why is it like that? Go turn on the roulette. Stop this cassette right now. Go to roulette. Look at the betting places on different kinds of wheels. Most of them will have egg shapes on it where the number is in, lying on the side. Well, if that can lie on the side as the board is straight up and down, I guess I can turn my card this way, right? Otherwise, it would have said on the back, this side up. Doesn't say this side up. Whichever side is always good. You see the picture in the center over here with a mustache over here? He's got 2 eyes and big eyebrows. And here's a big mouth and here's another one. They're playing face to face. Do you see all the corners? You see the way it's hand roping around here and hand roping around here? Well, this is your beta cassette. Look the way she's hand roping. Here's the mouth. Blah, 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 blah. Instead of it talking onto the TV, it's me doing all the work now. This one all the way around to connect this one. Number 7, number 9, number 1, and number 3. Now, if this was a pool table, I'd have to turn it up this way. Okay, now if I turn it up this way, do you see the split all the way down the center? Over here, right from the top. Now, if you see there's a diamond right here, there's a face, the wings, and they're ready to play the game. Here again, same pumpkin. Remember the pumpkin? I forget the name of the girl. This is not coincidence. Every single card, I mean, the bicycle wheel of Jupiter, okay? So nothing can actually live on Jupiter. It's turning this one around, and then it's turning this one around. On one of these is Earth, is where we live. On one is where the angels live. But I believe because of the way this card is set up, I still see number 1, number 3, number 1, number 3. Earth is still on the corner, and it's not here. Are we outside the cycle? Because if you take a look down here, it's almost like on a track. It's almost like there's this track. It's the track moving, that's moving this wheel, that's making this move, that's making this move. Once this turns, all this stuff goes down like this, goes all the way around, okay, and you have all the angels at the corners, okay? So this turns, that turns this, that turns this, and when this turns to turn this, this turns to turn this, and the line on the outside, okay, is where it works between. That's one of the ways to look at it. The other way to look at it is Venus, Jupiter, and Neptune are on here. And everything is read off of Venus, Jupiter, and Neptune. And that's why Venus doesn't need any moons. Okay, now the question is, the center 5 position, okay, is supposed to be the center of God, because God is center to 1, 3, 7, and 9. Okay, so he's not in the 1 position. That's why the 1 position has nothing on the telephone. He's in the 5 position, okay, to the 3, 7, and 9. But when there's a man born in this world, he has to have something in the 1 position, but it's not on that level. When the corner is born, 1 and 9 is 10. 1 and 0 is 1. It goes in the 1 position, but still, it doesn't come upon your phone because it's in a different kind of equation. Do you want me to explain it? Okay. I'm going to do something. Hold on a second. Everybody knows in Monopoly, one side is 10, 10, 10, 10. Okay? So what we have to do to this 10, 10, 10, 10 is it's on a wall. 1 and 9 equals to 10. So in the beta world is standing like this. So the 10 only gets a wall instead of being at the 1 position where it would be a corner. Secondly, don't you see this over here? It's missing. The 1, okay, is missing here in the corner, right here. What does this look like? It's the letter D. Okay, you see you have to shape it, you have to follow the line straight, and you have to come around as a point, which is now a round, and then you go straight up, and then you go straight up. And this creates the letter D, this creates the letter P. It also connects 4 and 2. If you reverse this, it connects 2 and 6. If you flip it over, it connects 2 and 6, and also 2 and 4. This, sometimes I would say, it's a little too big. You know what I'm saying? I don't know exactly what it can be. It can be the Yod in Hebrew. It can be the P or the D, because these are all primary angles of God. Okay, I can't exactly explain it. I'm going to try. How can I explain it? God has the first 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 is God, and everything in between that, he created 2. You understand what I'm saying? He created 2. 2. Beta. He created 4. You. 4 and you. And 2 and you. So we got 2 in beta for you and 2. And you and 2. So how much is you? 6 man and 2 is 8. She created the heavens. And you. Because you're 6. And it's 2. She's everything. Anyways, where was I going? What was I saying? Where was I going? What was I saying? I'm insane. I gotta have another cigarette. Anybody want to join me for a cigarette? So I'm a little off. I came in here to say I'm a little off, you know, and I'm seeing so many things as I'm writing. As I'm writing. I guess I'm sucking on the well, we're doing very good, and I don't want to smoke, and I don't want to stop the cassette. And anyways, okay, I was a little slow getting off. This is the 1-0 roulette shown down here. I'm going to probably try to find one with the 2 and explain to you the numbers with this. And I'm going to put in the Monopoly board, the rest of the roulette board, the planets, the days of the week, the months of the year. Has anybody ever seen this? Look, one piece, one piece, one piece. That's 3, right? Look at the border line in between. See that beam holding up and beam holding up? You can't put anything there. There's something there. There's a beam holding it up. So that would be 2 separating 3 and 2 separating 3. 5 and 5. Freedom. Things are expressions in the other world that I sort of, wherever it is, whatever it is, there's things of expression. So God is actually the center of everything. It's not that God started off in the 5 position, but he always was, because he was the center of the universe. So he's always going to have that 5 position, even if he's just 1. He's A and he's E. He's the game, A and E. Don't get it? 1 and 5 is 6. God is the one spirit of 5. But 1 and 5 is 6. This is terrible. I gotta have a cigarette. I gotta have a cigarette. Give me a second. Float up with me. Skip over it. Just skip over it for 3 minutes. This is insane. This is insane. What do I have in here? Let's see if I got a lighter in here. That's all I got. That's all I got. Oh my God. How do I do this? How do I do this? This is crazy. Okay. Okay, whatever it is, doesn't really matter, does it? Does it matter? Hold on a second. Okay, I'm going to go light it off the stove. I'll be back in 3 minutes, so just jump 3 minutes forward, all right? I can't stop it. It's 1836, jump to 1838 or something like that. So, you know what? This is a crazy, crazy cassette. I put on my stove. Okay. This is an L corner. Why? Because it's the 12th card. Okay, 1 and 2 is 3, and the corner of your phone is 3. It's an L corner. It's the L corner to what's below and beside the corner of 3. What's beside it is the number 2. What's below it is the number 6. And it's all about 2 and 6. She's the corner of Earth. Okay? She's the corner of the heart. Now, is this an expression, okay, that people who know astrology and people who know chakra, this is an expression that they'll understand that I don't, so I'm going to say something that I'm not sure. So if she's the L corner, the L letter means life. She's above 6, and she's in the 3 position, and besides 2, which is her mother. And her father, right, is the one spirit of 5, God. He's the one spirit of 5 because he is 5, but when he plays the queen, he's 6. He went from odd to even. So that would mean Earth is in that corner. The L corner where Earth is, that's where she lives. She's the L corner. But then all the queens get to live in the L corner. But there's an L corner here, okay? When the board turns around, every time your telephone turns, you know the old telephone? Ding, ding, and you dial 2 and it goes all the way back, and you dial 8 and it goes ding. You remember that telephone? Well, that's the same thing with this, okay? You may have all these numbers in this position, but once you turn this, they're turning in all positions, doing the work all the way around. Well, it's the same thing for your old telephone, okay? I'm going to try and explain it. Your old telephone, you put your finger in the 9, it went all the way to the end, it had to go to that little place where it says, I am 9. And you take the telephone again, I am 8. You take the telephone again, I am 6. You take the telephone again. Why do I say I am 6? Because those are the numbers you're dialing. When it gets to the end, it says your number, and you say, okay, I got to where I have to go for the commencement of the communication. So, so what happens, okay, is in the tic-tac-toe board, there's 4 corners, queen to each corner. Sometimes she won't be a 3 queen because once you put the corner in and you turn it, okay, let's say that you put in the Pluto, a queen at Pluto, okay, and you turn the phone all the way to the end, it's going to go Pluto creation, queen, and then you're going to put a queen in on number 7, and you're going to turn it, it's going to say number 7 beta queen, or number 7 spirit of the 6 angles of God, and the phone goes all the way back. And then you put your finger in again on number 1, still thinking that you're number 1. You still have to turn 1 shot with number 1 just to say I am number 1. Right? You stick your finger in the little hole, you turn it, and it hits the end, it says I am 1. That's God. That's why 1 and 1 in craps you lose, because you're telling yourself who you are. You already know. And then if you get 1 and 2 in craps, you lose, because if you hit 2, it goes, I'm Mrs. Doubtfire. That's the way I look at it. Number 2 is Mrs. Doubtfire. Number 1 is Robin Williams. You know what I'm saying? Hey, turn the dial. Zing. I am Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh, no wonder. Okay, I already knew I was Mrs. Doubtfire, so I put my finger number 1. And the 1 goes back and it says, I am 1. Well, I already knew I was 1. I am Mrs. Doubtfire, so I knew those things. So in craps, you lose on the come-out roll. Decide who you want to be. That's what the big question in craps is. So you stick your finger in the 5, you turn it all around, and you go, I'm 5. But there's many ways to say 5. It could be a 5th, which means a fag. Okay? So I am 5th. I'm in 5th position. I won. What place did you come in? I came in 5th. Who are you? You mean you're a 5? No, the position of the game I played put me in that, and my result was 5. Okay, so I'm going to get my cigarette lit. 23 minutes, right? Hey guys, I'm right back with you. What's up? I don't know if I'll ever end this. You know, this will be one of these cassettes that you come on, you say, holy shit, 6 hours long. What's his bill like gonna beat a bell? I used to never think about it until they started popping in over $100. This is unfinished. I'm throwing this out. This is a 7 and a 7, creating one part of the cube. Here's another 7, creating another part where there's no legs. And here's another 7. So to create a V, all you need is a 7 and a 7. To create a square, you need 4 7s. At the same time, if you take a look at it, right, look, you can see the corner. It's like Lexus. You know the Lexus image, the way the Lexus has it, the way Lexus is bent over. So then I was thinking about Lex, us. We are Lex. So I question myself and question myself. We are Lex. We are Le. We're ugly. We're ugly and we're the X-Men. Le. Le means milk. Okay? Lex us, universal soldiers of the planet Earth. We're here to conquer all feats, even in the honor of love, even trying to be in love. We honor every feat. This is a life where everything means something. In one way, to one, or if not in one way, to one who couldn't care less, it means something so much more to another. McDonald's coffee. I'm in Canada. Is this the way they do yours? With this over here? An accented E? Why is it an accented E? Listen to it. It was an accident. Accented E. An accent, which should mean to connect one with another, to heighten the value or to lower the value of the E because of the electronic world or because of the value of that E. You see, in this situation, it's cafe. And everybody knows the calf is a very strong figure in my work because I've come up with it many, many times, and it's 1, 3, and 6. And that's what it's really all about. Alpha, gamma, zeta. I think that's what it is. Alpha, gamma, zeta. 1, 3, and 6, the total is 10. When you do it with beta, okay, you do it with 2, 3, and 6, and the total is 11, because instituted inside the beta world is the spirit that man gets to use. He gets to use the one spirit in the beta world. I told you, 5's a fag. He plays in both worlds. Okay, he's the kingpin to everything. He's the pillar. He is the pillar. So there's a lot of things to do because like over here you see 2 L's, right? Now I put 2 dots there because they're separated. Oh no, they got a divorce. Yeah, they get a divorce. You know why? Because you know what goes in here next is the X. When you get separated, you get an X. Okay. And this is not bull. This is not bull. This is not bull. I'm going to explain to you. Okay, here's your X, right? When you get separated or a divorce, okay, you get the X, Y, wife. I already told you that the 5 is a fifth, okay, which means 1 of 5, okay. But you get an ex-wife. Where's the thing? Here's your ex, and here's your wife. Y5, Y5. Your wife, your wives, your Y5. So your Wi-Fi that we go to McDonald's or the Wi-Fi communication is all because of this over here. Wi-Fi. What is the Wi-Fi? Well, when Alpha creates, he goes from 1 spirit to 3 creation. When Beta creates, she goes from 2 to 3. Okay, the whole thing is, when Alpha connects to 3, the only way to create is he has to create with what? So he creates with his second self, okay, the 2, which is right next to the 1. And when he goes with when 1 goes in 2, they make 3. And then they have the baby, and that baby becomes a number 4 baby. And that baby, okay, is a duplicated baby because when it's producing the child up in heaven, they're producing the child down on earth. 1, 2, 3, ABC. 1, 2, 3, ABC. Jackson 5. It's what it's all about, my friends. If you think that song was nothing, nothing, nothing at all, it's more and more and more than anything of all, because it's the Y5, the ex-wife, okay, is what puts that connection together. Take a look at the X. 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, and then 1 in the center. is 5. This is because these are two different worlds. The Y, you see the peace sign and the peace sign? It also creates the Y. The 2 dots is because it's connecting this world over here in this corner, which would have been a 7 on your telephone. And a 1 here is now a 4 over here. And the same thing, this would be a 6 over here. And this side connects with this side. Okay, and this dot to this dot to this dot, they connect there. They connect, and one is a negative, and they connect as a positive up here. This is 2, 6 over here. This is 2, 4. When 2, 4, 6 create, okay, 2, 4, 6 create, they have 12. 1 and 2 equals 3. Now my screen disappeared. My mouse is not over here, so we're going to have to bring that back over here. Did you see this? I'm not finished with this. I'm not finished with this because this is the exterior. Then we have the underneath 1, 3, 7, 9, which is always turning, like I said. It always turns underneath. That's the 5 spirit. The 1 spirit of the 5 angle will spin underneath. This is the beta world. Isn't she cute? It's all clubs. So why in the world can't we find that 4-leaf clover? Because you're walking. We're like the 4th leaf to the clover. We're the center. Where the spade has the stand and the club has the stand. See the stands? They're like keyholes. Okay? Because you unlock the key and this turns around. And this turns around. And this turns around. And you know how you unlock that key? Just by thinking or walking or your heart movement. Like all this down here, from this dot here to this dot here to these 3 dots here, 3, 4, 5, okay, that would be everything that you don't have to think of, like your heart beating. And then everything from here all the way around to here is everything you have to think of. So living life, okay, and that would be you. And if we turn it on an angle, again, we'd have a beta 5 because it's on this angle. Okay, we're going to stop it here. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to make this design. Like I'm never really sure. There's so many things. Did I ever show you this one here? The S, like this. It comes around. Now look, 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the 3rd? There's supposed to be 3. There is. Don't forget about this line. 1, the line is 2, the round is 3. Here's 1. Here's the line is the 2 center, and this side is 3. This part connects all the equipment to make everything else run. If that's true, okay, it's got to be like this, okay, because there's a little thing over here. How can I explain this? It's very weird. It's very weird. How can I explain? Because in one instance, right, there's also supposed to be a connection in which creates the letter F with 2 lines in it. And I'm all over the place in here right now. And I'm going to rate this video. Before I rate it, Ron Paul, go, go, go. They keep finding this crazy stuff. They keep saying Obama has done so much wrong and they have admitted to the wrong they have done. Is this going to be a set-up election? The other questionable thing to think about is everything I do, I see it, I know, I wish I can show you so much better. You don't know what it means to me. I wish I can just show you more, something concrete where I go slower and you can follow the puzzle being built. And I know I feel I'm going still too fast. Because all it does is every time I start to do it, it grows and it just grows all over the place. And I don't know which subject to continue on. And I don't want to forget where I was. And I have to remember that when I go to sleep at night, I let everything go. So sometimes I have to continue on the same area and let some of those areas go. But how do you let something go when you know the answer? And you might not know it in 10 minutes. You might see it, but you won't understand it. Maybe in a day or two, you'll understand it again. Oh my God, my friends, I don't know what God, I don't know why, you know, to me, okay, so I got a gift. This is what I believe, that I'm able to evaluate something that doesn't actually, in reality, doesn't exist, and give it a mark or a number to where it has a truth and a definition. So why did God give this to me? B, none of this is true. God gave me nothing. I make all this stuff up every single day. I create my own hypotheses that seem to make sense all the time. Everything seems to be so true in my mind, yet there is no God, and somehow I was able to create all this stupidity that sometimes doesn't make sense because it never made sense to start with. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe some things are fantastic and they're just coincidences just to be like that, and they're actually real mathematical equations that others have done. I've just shoved in Monopoly and everything else to make it look good. In truth, to the definition of certain places on Monopoly and the addition of the numbers for the primary explanatory understanding and definition, meaning the Baltic is 43, and reverse that the Mediterranean is 41, and reverse Baltic 43 to 34, which means number one. The total comes out to 77, which is the Christ. And I've been working on this for so long, and I come up with an answer, and it's so true because they're the same property in Monopoly color. So that's why they connect together. And so I see a truth in this. So I don't believe that it's not true. So then I believe highly I must be able to do a search and be able to conquer in a 5 or 6 minute cassette to explain one theory slowly, one at a time, so everybody can start taking place and adding their own pieces. You know, if we had a puzzle that we can shove it on screen and you put your piece and I put my piece, and we try the pieces out, and we can say puzzle A with this piece, puzzle B with this piece, the combinations of the pieces, and continuous. And at the same time, you press a button, it says number 3, and it tells you whether or not number 3 is Earth or just a C letter for creation. But don't forget, 3 and 5, Earth and Jupiter, have a lot to do with each other, because J in Jupiter and E in Earth says I, and God said I. God said I am. So I am would be, first of all, the A is number 1, okay? The M is number 4, and the I is the 5 and the 3. So that would be 8. It would be 5, 3, 1, 4. Or it would be 8, 5. Neptune and Jupiter again. I keep coming back to the same thing. Neptune and Jupiter. Wow. God is solid. He's not something you pass by. He's Jupiter, and his omega would be Neptune. Again, tells us we live in Neptune. It's crazy. Well, the only squares that are whole when you make an octagon is 2, 4, 6, and 8. So are we living in a half and half world, or is it half and half world the worlds that are shared by the brain? So that would be 1, 3, 7, and 9. The only thing to be left is 2, 4, 6, and 8. The 4 would be the angle of communication, okay, between man, 6, in the 2 worlds of the 8 heaven. So 4 would connect to 6, and 8 and 2 would connect to 4, giving it the information that man gives 3 and 9. 3 and 9, 3 plus 3 is 6. 9 minus 3 is 6. 3, 6, 9. ESP. ESP. ESP? ESP. Those are the letter initials of 3, 6, and 9. ES and P. You don't know how? Neither do I. ES and P. E, okay, is the 5th letter. S is the 19th letter. P is the 16th letter. 16 and 19 is 35, and 5 is 40. ESP, the game, connecting the 10-10, 10-10 world together. ESP. I just know it's so true. I just hope one day I'm able to show it to you a whole lot better. Thank you. Raphael, 7286. Oh, wait a second. Wait, you think it's over that easy? You can look on the side. You'll say, it wasn't a long one. For those people who are not in comfort for when the country that you live in, okay, if it's because and only because of, and of what? Because you're not let to have your freedom. Freedom must come to one and all, not for 1/4 or 1/2 or 3/4 of the planet, but for 360 degrees, 72 times up, down, and all around, whichever way you can go. The midway angel must come and save us. And we must save ourselves by being good and understanding. We must learn what it is, what communication is. We must learn not to scream at people for no stupid reason. And stupid people should try and understand and learn not to be so stupid anymore. And those who are selfish must stop. Because in the next world of communication consciousness, you will be burned inside your mind. You will pay for everything you do with every thought you make. This is the next world, my friends. Every time you don't see, your dreams will conquer you. And every time you do notice and do nothing about it, you will seem to perish in one way or another. The next world is the world of the mind. You better learn to understand how to use your mind now. It is the business of the mind and the minding of the business. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus, the Greek gods are coming upon us.